da 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 da. Whenever he's submarining in on Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I'll just drop it in. So it's the God Awful Gospel Hour, season 1 finale.
A very special Christmas episode. It's beginning to smell a lot like poontang. This is a long season. What was 20 episodes?
I think we're at 23. Was the 23 was the? That's like an old school, like major network season. Like shows like Lost used to have 25 episodes.
Before the Jews took over Hollywood and said, this season is 6
Yeah.
episodes and that's all.
No,
And spread them out. Watch it again.
I think the Kojak episode was number 23 or something. So yeah, we're having a 30 Rock season.
Yeah, that's good. It's because you deserve it, our fine listeners. Shout out to Zambi034, our 600th TikTok follower. This is a little next milestone is whoever's the 666th.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the God Awful Gospel Hour without it. But you probably should have just lied and said like our 78,000th so that it sounded like you had way more TikTok followers.
I like having this many people right now. These are our OG people. Everybody who's followed us on TikTok is hopefully on the strength of the jokes and the humor. They don't, I didn't do any weird promo follow stuff on there.
Yeah.
It's just people who
So it
heard a
could still
bit
be.
and thumbs upped it and followed us. So we'll see. Hopefully all those people like podcasts eventually and feel like they're trickling into the downloads and the listens. We got a bunch of weird cities all over the world listening.
You know what sucks is that podcasting has always been considered like kind of nerdy.
Yeah.
Like unattractive nerdy. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever watch The League?
It's audio. We're ugly.
Did you ever watch The League?
Yeah.
Of course, what's Andre or whatever, the guy that the bald-headed guy plays, the like really annoying guy.
Uh-huh.
Of course, he's got a podcast in that. And there's that commercial that they've just had recently about the guy who's like, there's a podcast for that.
Mm.
Have you seen that one?
No, Zach Braff made a podcast movie
Yeah.
about starting a podcast. It became easier and easier for anybody with an old mixer and some microphones in the living room.
Or with a phone. Like, you can just do it. Like, have you seen Vengeance, that movie with Ryan from The Office, where he has to go and investigate that girl that got murdered, that said she was his girlfriend?
I think you guys were watching it. We were in and
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. He basically records podcast episodes by just hitting record on his iPhone and having people talk.
We have two listeners from my daughter's junior high that she told one of them. So, this is good. These are jokes for 14-year-old boys, so it's fine. But then she came home one day and was like, why did you follow my friend Violet on TikTok? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And she was like, she looked at your profile and you followed her. And I was like, I follow anybody that looks at me. I follow them. I want to know the audience. I didn't know who that was. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to talk to underage anybody. I'm not trying to interact with anybody.
On the season finale of the God Awful Gospel Hour, Josh gets arrested.
But it would be cool if there was like a fight club of junior hires at their high school
Yeah.
that we could get to go up to my daughter and be like, hey, put your phone away. You're not allowed to use your phone. This is for the boss. This is for the god awful bosses. But we got to make sure you eat your lunch today, darling.
Yeah.
Okay?
Middle school mafia.
Yeah, little gangsters. The god awful fight club. The first rule of the god awful gospel hour is you don't talk about the god awful gospel hour. I changed our pronouns on TikTok too. I just found the weirdest ones from the list. There's
Yeah.
AERS.
Ayers?
How dare you mispronounce horror. I don't know how to say it. It's XEIR.
Yeah. Oh, XEIR?
Are these
Zier.
people- is it like
Zier.
Identify as a fox but fuck mermaids or something?
It's like a French fox. Ziel.
I have no idea.
I identify as
I
Ziel.
just picked all the ones that I didn't know what they were. We're watching Logan because we've been talking about Wolverine movies. This is arguably the best one. Coolest people in it, and it's the most recent. And it Johnny Cash made it cool. Remember the trailer had Hurt in it.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
perfect. We went out to eat at Chewy's last week, and
Doesn't it suck now? It's not like all gross.
I don't know. How good do you have to be to make a fried burrito?
I
with
don't know,
steak
everybody
in it?
just they like cut down the menu and they say the quality just went down. I haven't been in forever. They used to get it catered all the time. Anyway, you went to Chewy's.
They better not fuck with the quality. Out Circle C, they'll never hear the end of it from the Karens. The Circle cunt C's. So, did you learn common courtesy growing up of like inside voices, restaurant voices?
Yeah, but I always got too loud.
Yeah, same.
And
I
then
got
I-
always told to shh.
Yeah.
We had a couple behind us that was just like, bah, 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 bah. And this is old timer guy.
Yeah.
I've been investing in this land and looking at it for a while. I was like, dude, I don't want to know your business.
He's announcing it.
I'm on a date with my wife. How dare you? Oh, there was this, speaking of Karens, there was an uproar at the elementary school drop-off the other day. Somebody dropped a $20 bill. There
Yeah.
was like 8 moms running around in hysterics. Someone dropped a $20 bill.
Like they found a $20 bill.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to get this back to its owner.
There's a lost and found at
Yeah.
every school. Just take it to the office. There's a solution readily apparent that's been for thousands of years. Every elementary school has had a lost and found, and it just took a hen house full of 8 Karens to
I
go,
know.
oh, what to do? Oh, my God. I'm sure they all wanted it, and they were like,
Yeah.
I'll take it to the office. No, I'll take it to the office.
Either that or they, times are hard out there in the economy. And
Any money you can take where your
Yeah.
husband doesn't know. It doesn't come out of the bank account. That's $20 of Starbucks. That's 1 cup of
Right.
coffee. I've been trying to teach Adrian guitar, big aids, but he wants to learn like riffs, licks. Like, let's get the chords down first. He can't figure out a lot of the chords.
Really?
He's just sitting there trying to play I Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
And he was trying to play the...
Is he just now learning?
He's guitarded.
Yeah.
He's retarded
Well,
of guitars.
Yeah, you're guitarded for like the first year or two, really.
His fingers
I
are
was.
retarded.
Took me forever.
We were in his backyard the other night watching him try to type in a YouTube video.
Yeah.
But he was drunk and we were drunk and he kept fucking up. So we had the door mostly closed, but we were watching. We could see through the crack the text at the top of the screen, and we were just cracking up watching him fuck up and back it up and put in the wrong number again. And I put my mouth up to the crack of the door and I was like, "Number, words, finger touch, Adrian." And then he typed in "black guy," and I was like, "What are you doing? What are you looking for?" It was some how to dance video.
I can't wait to drop I love that for you on him.
I love
Just
that for you.
just to say that. I love that for you.
Yeah, he doesn't feel safe. He didn't feel financially or legally safe. I don't feel safe. You're supposed to believe all women. That's pretty much the same as saying hashtag trust all spies. What's your problem? Why don't you trust all the spies with your important information?
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything with it. I love that for you. The lady we met at the party that I was telling you about,
Yeah, yeah.
the HR lady, her cousin is Jesse Calhoun from Oregon, who is an accused mass murderer. So my wife knew all about him because, bitches love crime drama.
That true
shit.
crime shit, yeah.
So every woman knows every mass murderer and their name
Yeah,
and
they
their
have them all
whatever.
memorized. They're obsessed with them.
But it's this lady's cousin, and she's like, I don't think he did it. I know he's a sex trafficker and he's in jail, but he's just not a mass. He's too dumb to be a mass murderer. And I was like, he was a sex trafficker, and I looked it up, and he killed 4 women. And I was like, if you're a sex trafficker and you kill 4 women, that's not mass murder. That's inventory management.
That's shrinkage.
You can laugh into the mic. Supply chain. We took flagger training at work, and the instructor looked exactly like Uncle Jesse from Dukes of Hazzard with the overalls, the old man. Did you ever watch Dukes of Hazzard? God
yeah,
damn it.
yeah. Yeah, the moonshiner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like him, but he sounded like Matt Foley from SNL, like the half crying. And
Yeah. Okay.
he kept talking about bar ditch. He said, you could get distracted flagging on the side of the road and listening to your good time radio and fall into a bar ditch. I had to look up what a bar ditch is. It's short for borrow ditch. You're borrowing the dirt from the ditch and making a hump between the ditch and the road.
Okay.
So it's borrowing earth
Yes.
to make a ditch, to make a speed hump.
Wait, where did you see this at?
He was the instructor at my flagger training at work. It's like traffic control guy.
So you were being trained and you had to look up a term that the guy used.
Yeah. I don't know what a bar
He's
ditch.
so old. Is that like an old term for
He
it, or
was
is
saying
that a
borrow, but he had an accent, so he kept saying bar ditch.
bar ditch?
I thought it was a ditch in front of a bar.
Yeah.
And then he was talking shit about Austin. He's from UT Arlington Transportation School.
Okay.
And he said, you got a lot of events here. I'm sure Austin's going to have another gay liberation parade this year.
Gay
Where are they
liberation.
being liberated from? Is it Palestine? Are they being
Right.
bombed? And then he was talking about those reader boards. You know, somebody hacked one that said zombies.
Yeah.
He was like, it's a lot of people can put whatever they want in there. I'm sure some woman's going to drive by and get offended. I was like, dude, this is your last year at this job. You
That's
do not
awesome.
give a fuck.
This guy was training you.
His wife,
Dude, that would have made my day so much better
It was
if I'd have gotten to
very
go through that
entertaining.
and listen to that.
dude, that's job goals. That's what I want when I
Yeah.
retire. His wife, he was a cop, and then he was a transportation safety consultant for a private thing. And then his wife put in an application. They retired. They were going to be in a Winnebago.
Right.
But she applied for him on his behalf fraudulently with his information. She identity thefted him into this job. And he didn't know. And then she called him and she told him, I put in for this job for you and you got it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm retired, bitch. What the fuck are you doing? Every guy that's retired, like. So she was like, well, we're going to be in the Winnebago around Texas just like you want, but now we'll have something to do everywhere we go. And he was like, oh. And he looked at it, and it had a budget in it to hire an assistant. And he was like, guess what, honey? You're coming with me. You're going
I'm
to
taking
sit
all that money.
in the back of the room, and I'm going to tell you what to do the whole time. He was just fussing at her. Honey, bring me that sheet of paper. I got to tell him about the bar ditch. So he got his revenge for
Yeah.
years. He's like, I'll do this job, but we're doing it.
This is how we eat.
You're coming with
You
me.
take my orders, and that's how we eat.
They still have the COVID dividers up at work, the clear. Do you have those at your work?
No, we don't have anything at work.
They still have the sneeze guards between the cubicles.
Yeah.
But they used to have everybody staggered out and spaced out, and now there's a woman right next to me. She's pretty cool. Her name, I don't know. I can't say her name.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I drew a little black rectangle on the clear divider with a dry erase marker. And then I said, hey, her name. And she turned and I took a picture.
Yeah.
It looked like she had a Hitler mustache. And I showed it to her and she was like, I like that. That's good. And I was like, all right, you're cool. She got Matt Rife
It's like
intro.
You got tested. Yeah.
See if this is going to be all right for you to sit next to
Yeah.
me.
My brother did that to you know Tao
The
from
restaurant?
our previous coworker Tao. Maybe you guys
It's a
didn't ever meet her.
PlayStation game. Cow, the kangaroo.
So yeah, my brother did that to the girl that sat next to him when he worked at a call center with me,
Yeah.
and so her name was Tao, and he just typed it on his computer to the text to speech.
Yeah.
He made it say Tao is a ho like that while she was on a phone call.
Yeah. You can do that with a Merriam-Webster website on your phone. Retarded.
and she immediately loved him.
Yeah.
Like she went to his wife's baby shower after that.
Yeah.
It's like he won her over. So yeah, the test. So you gave the little test to the woman who sat next to you.
Yeah, I mean, I could have done something meaner. I could have given her double chin or sideburns.
Yeah.
Or, a real mustache or something. More wrinkles. You got to be careful with a lady. You don't know. The funniest, safest thing you can really do to a girl is a Hitler mustache because you're not implying there's anything wrong with her.
Yeah.
Or her bodily autonomy.
Yeah, they were just using a Sony phone on Logan.
Nice.
It's like, yeah, you know who made this movie?
Everybody look at the back of the phone.
Sony, right there.
Yeah, we were talking about neighbors earlier. I forgot to tell you while you were gone. I didn't bring your trash in, but then I came. I was sick, and I came we both got horribly ill while we were on vacation.
Yeah, it was not a fun Thanksgiving.
We both almost died of not being able to breathe. But yeah, there's respiratory shit going around everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody has and they don't know what to call it anymore. They just quit putting omega phi symbols on the
Yeah.
end of COVID. They were just like, it's upper respiratory again.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what all the dumb Trump people said at the beginning. It's just a flu.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing but a flu.
No, it's going around.
Someday they're just going to call it the flu again. But, my neighbors are closer to me than you are. Your neighbor lady brought your trash in.
Mm-hmm.
After we got home from the airport. I wasn't going to say anything. I was going to be like, well, he'll see that his trash got brought in and he'll assume that I did it like I told him I would. But then,
then I brought it up and I was like,
I didn't do it.
Yeah, and you said I was sick.
I came over to do it 2 days later and it was in the driveway already.
Yeah.
But my neighbors, I'm too linear for neighbors. Like my wife loves neighbors and talking to the neighbors, but the only time they want to talk to me is the worst time. It's either I'm getting in the car to go somewhere or I just got home and I want to go inside.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to talk to anybody whenever I'm in my driveway, I'm doing something that is complete disregard for the whole rest of the world.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out or get in. I'm not she hangs out in the front yard watering plants, and like people just gather. They're like, well, I guess it's time
They
for
walk by,
church.
like, oh, she's out there. Yeah.
She got roped into watching another lady's dog. It's a cute dog. It's like a Falcor-looking golden retriever, but he's awkward and floppy and lanky. And we go and look after him in the backyard. But this lady, we never met her before. This African woman, 2 doors down, came over and said, I heard that, basically she was like, I heard that your wife watches people's dogs for free. She was sweet. She, and my wife was like, where are you going? Zambia? Yeah, bring me back some fabrics. Fuck yeah, I'll watch your dog. So we got to go look after this dog just for some like tea towels.
So this is a golden retriever?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cute. But we were watching the other dog, Toonie,
Mm-hmm.
the pit bull, and we took him to this farm to get looked after for a while because they pay for this nice ranch, beautiful piece of property out, Buda.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a whole field with a pool. In the middle of the pool is like a water fountain. It looks like a fire hydrant. It's like a Schlitterbahn for dogs.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And you just leave your dog. That's how rich people are.
Yeah, they're like, that's the dog gathering area.
What if
That's
they
the
put
playroom for the dogs.
They should put one of those dog parks next to the homeless shelter and be like, look how the other half's dogs live next to you. But we had to do special paperwork for Toonie because he's reactive. So they had to do things separate with him from other dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I need that for my driveway and at work. I need everybody to know that I'm reactive and I'm special. And leave me alone.
Avoid.
Be careful with him. He's reactive. Remember when I got you at the airport? I was parked illegally. So they came up and they were like, sir, you have to move along. And I was like, I'm waiting for my friend. He's disabled. And then I texted you. And I was like, act retarded. I'm parked illegally.
I must not have seen that. I was walking.
You came up to the car and I started waving at you. I wanted you to wave back and be like, hey, my yard's in here. You do any Bitcoin? You have Bitcoin?
I became sick doing my Minnesota trip.
Are you doing Bitcoin? How are you doing on that?
I have. Hang on, let me go to Mycelium.
I mean, if you don't want to disclose your earnings, I wouldn't.
I have $23.36 in
Okay.
Bitcoin.
But it's going up, right? Still. Been
Yeah,
fluctuating.
it's higher than it has been recently.
I like to watch it. I feel like the Joker burning that pile of money.
Yeah.
Like this is society's crumbling. I'm watching Bitcoin go up, and I'm like, the Enron and the banks and the Jews are all dying of this. This is.
They want to stop it.
That Dumb Money movie, the Game Stonks.
Is that out yet?
Yeah, it's on Plex.
I haven't watched it. I'll have to find it and watch it.
It's got a lot of great dudes in it. I was reading about all these diseases, the upper respiratory and everything else that come from. They try to blame it on Africa. Like this is African, AIDS was a monkey or whatever.
Yeah.
But most of it was cross-pollination with like filthy European people that went down there. Like everything was clean and nice, and Africa's the Fertile Crescent. It's where civilization started.
Yeah.
Like Egypt and the Garden of Eden were there.
Yeah.
But
It's like you're not supposed to go there because then you bring things out of there that aren't supposed to go.
We fucked it up.
Yeah.
It was fine. And then we blamed them and go, this is a disgusting African disease that came from some whoring slave trader from Yugoslavia.
I mean,
He gave everybody dog AIDS.
That's a really good way to see that it was white people.
Yeah.
And then we did it to the Americas. We just like smallpox to the shit out of those Indians.
History is written by the winners. That was another funny thing about killing the flowers was their blankets. I was watching it with my wife, and she was like, they have the most beautiful blankets. And I was like, you don't want one of those.
Yeah.
Those are bad blankets. They're sickly people. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they're all very sickly. It's horrible.
You can't eat like a white person.
This is Polio Pendleton they have.
Yeah.
All right, nerd news is next. You want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break here real quick and be right back. No, Harvey, you can't have any of my White Castle hamburgers, so don't even ask.
What's another Final Fantasy girl?
Lulu's labia. Did you say that one before?
Lightning's labia.
Lightning's labia. How about Rydia's shit? I don't know.
Yuna's vulva. Great Yuna's vulva. But what's everybody's favorite one? The big titty girl with all the belts.
That was Lulu.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If you're going with Final Fantasy X.
Great. Lulu's busting Lulu's labes. It's nerd news time, Donnie.
You can't have a favorite Final Fantasy because you haven't played them all.
No.
You didn't play like 5 or 6 or anything?
I played 6 with you.
Yeah, a little bit, but you didn't play like all the way through it, right?
What am I, made of time over here? I got kids.
You had to put 4 hours in on Grand Theft Auto Online.
I was just playing that before I came over
Yeah,
here.
right. It's like playing an RPG, playing like an SNES RPG at this point is like it's reading a book.
Yeah.
You have to sit down and you have to like commit to it.
I mean, Final Fantasy is like jazz to me. I've got them all. I bought them all.
Yeah.
I can download them whenever I want. Whenever I run out of other stuff,
Right.
I'll get into jazz.
Right.
There's so much jazz that I'm holding it until I get tired of everything else. I don't like any music. There hasn't ever been we were talking with Kojak last week about the Final Fantasy Apex Legends crossover.
Yeah.
But there's never been a Final Fantasy Star Wars crossover of anything. Except they have Biggs and Wedge in all the games.
Yeah. And some of the plots are very Star Wars-ish.
So maybe we should do a Final Fantasy Star Wars old-timey radio show. Cloud and Luke Skywalker were on an adventure together. Trying to find Lulu's labias.
I don't see why they couldn't. I mean, it sounds like the kind of thing that Square Enix would do is they would pitch something for Star Wars.
Yeah.
But the problem is that Square Enix Square Enix is basically, it's one of the biggest Japanese game companies.
Yeah. They're just eyeballing each other from across the earth.
Yeah.
You think you got a good franchise, huh? Well, I got the same here. So who reaches out to who first? Who's going to be the bitch that wears the same dress to the wedding? You asked me to do I was just you and I texted each other simultaneously today.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe Star Wars and Final Fantasy will message each other on the same day.
Yeah. Just
Hey,
hey, I've been
wanna,
thinking about
do
you.
something?
Yeah.
Did you hear all the rumors that Mando season 4 is going to be a movie? They can't make up their mind.
I don't even pay attention to the rumors anymore.
Okay.
I don't follow any of it.
What do you think would be better, to make an actual season 4 or do a movie? At this point,
You know what my answer is. It'd be better for there
do
just
any
to
of
be
it
no
and
Star Wars.
burn down the world and start crying.
But no, I've told you what my idea is. Star Wars now should just be a video game franchise. Just make really good, really cool Star Wars video games, because the video game industry. I mean, we've heard this over and over and over. The gaming industry is bigger than Hollywood. It's bigger than movies. It's bigger than any other form of fiction. Just go there. That's where the money is. People will play the games, and they'll pay you the money.
Well,
You don't even have to make any more movies.
It's easier to enjoy an interactive story that you have a hand in.
Yeah.
It's like choose your own adventure books. It's more
Yeah.
fun. And there's more leeway for writing, you know.
But they can't even get a Knights of the Old Republic remake done. That's gone. That's stopped.
But there's such deep lore with like Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate. My
Yeah.
kid has gone through it where like he has to do a different playthrough just to get a different line of dialogue.
Oh, yeah?
Like I do that with Final Fantasy and Star Wars.
Yeah.
If they made such a branching thing where you have to try everything so you can see every cutscene.
Yeah, but then you just skip the cutscenes.
Yeah.
When I was playing Final Fantasy 16, you're like, you read all this?
If it was a Final Fantasy Star Wars crossover, I would pay attention to
yeah,
every
you would
word.
get into the lore.
Has to be a new planet with a new Gaia that's like the Force or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know who Null is? Knull, the Marvel character? Knull?
No, I do not.
He's the god of the symbiotes. He kind of looks like Venom Logan, or Venom Lobo.
Is he, okay.
He's got the spider thing on his chest, the white legs.
How do you spell it?
Knull.
Okay, I'll look it up.
He got found when something happened with the Eternals or the Celestials to rip a hole between some universes, and they found the dark universe of where all the symbiotes come from, and he's like the god of that. So that's where Carnage comes from.
Oh, no, he actually is a god.
Yeah, he's the god of
He's
the
an
symbiote
elder god.
of the symbiote universe.
It's crazy how much stuff is in the Marvel universe. Like everything is in the Marvel. Dracula is in the Marvel universe. You know, like the Marvel universe encompasses everything.
It's got Dracula and Morbius
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, Morbius is in there. Yeah, because there's vampires. There's blade shit.
Okay.
Everything is in the Marvel universe.
There's Dracula in the Bible too. Eve took Adam's rib and ruined his life. She was a vampire.
It was his blood she sucked.
They did a T-Rex sound vocalization study, kind of like they did in Jurassic Park 3 with the
Yeah, where they tried to
the
figure
raptor
out what
going,
their noises would be.
yeah, they did that with the T-Rex vocal cords. And
They don't have his vocal cords.
They take the void inside of the skeleton and 3D print a bladder and blow through it or whatever. Well, I have the audio here on my phone. You want to hear
Yeah,
it?
but
What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Isn't that weird? That's just how he normally talks. And then when he's in distress, he goes, "I'm trans. Like and subscribe my channel. Are you phobic?" It's crazy that it's been going on that long. Did you start Echoes of the Fallen yet?
no, I had to forfeit my PS5 for a while.
Oh, did you purchase it?
No, I didn't. So I was about to have to get rid of my PlayStation 5 or
Yeah.
give up the PlayStation 5 that
You
was
get
in the
another one?
studio. There's just a little gap between PS5s
Okay.
in the recording studio.
You have
So
the Series X anyway.
because I knew I wasn't going to have it for a couple weeks, I was like, I'm not going to buy it now and then just not play it. I'll wait 2 weeks.
You're getting a fancy disc one with storage and everything.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. You just have to
it's
make
going to have an extra
arrangements.
terabyte in it. So there's plenty of so that you can load all your games onto it.
Tears bites of the kingdom.
You know what we should do is we should build a tunnel that goes from underneath your stairs to here,
A Jewish slave tunnel.
so that you could just sneak over here whenever things are getting bad.
Yeah.
They won't even know that you're gone. They'll just I'm working, but you go down into the tunnel,
Yeah.
and then you just come over here and we load all your PlayStation games
I
on,
was
and you
telling
just
my
sit and
kid
play
that today when we
PlayStation.
were moving your bed. I was like, "This is where I'm going to sleep when your
Yeah.
mom pisses me off." Yeah.
We're gonna change the name of this to the Dog House.
So what did you? Okay, we're gonna play Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind like we did with Mando season 4. Pretend that you're not angry about black women. What would you think of the GTA 6 trailer outside of the context of current situations?
I mean, it looked cool.
There's no gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, it could have easily just been like a mock-up.
Did they say it was all in engine?
No.
Okay. It's very heavily.
And then they were like 2025. So I was like, you guys don't have anything. Although there was a leak of some of the gameplay, I guess.
Yeah,
The
a long time
the
ago.
guy's kid leaked or something.
Well, there was big leaks a year ago where they showed like all the XY coordinates and everything,
Oh, okay.
like hours of gameplay.
Okay.
Somebody ganked the kid that got arrested, and he said he would do it again.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I regret nothing.
Somebody's got the Wolverine stuff. I don't know, but they were ransoming it. But did they end up not releasing any of it, or? 'Cause you said there's Wolverine leaks, right? But had you seen
I
leaks?
think it turned into a whole doxing thing, and everybody got mad that it not only did he get info about the Wolverine game, but people's personal information is in there.
Yeah, and but they were holding it. They were like holding it ransom. They're saying, "Pay us, or we're going to release all this stuff."
I don't want to see it.
And so I don't know if any of it actually got out yet, because it was like you have 48 hours or whatever before we release it.
You have 15 seconds to comply. I like the story to be told to me in the way that they want the story. I agree with Ryan Reynolds in his Deadpool stories, spoilers thing. He's like, we're working hard to craft this tale. We want to deliver it to your senses in the way that we're crafting it. If you look at telephoto lens pictures, you're going to ruin it for yourself.
Yeah.
Doesn't ruin anything for us. The movie's still going to do well. It's the only Marvel movie this year. I think we'll be fine. Everybody's going to go.
If it, I wonder. Yeah, I mean, I think it should do okay. If they can get it right, they can have basically another Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
That is the most successful Spider-Man movie of all time. They made like
It's a couple, $2 billion.
yeah, they made something like, I don't know, 2,000% profit or something. Something
It's
insane like
basically
that.
the best of all the Spider-Mans. It was a best of album.
20% profit. I don't know. It was about the only big success, like 2019 success that we've seen. Besides Barbie, and Oppenheimer made a lot of money too that summer.
Slop and Oppenheimer. Sydney Sweeney have you seen the gif that they keep showing of her as Spider-Woman upside down?
Yeah.
It makes sense because she's got those DSLs, so
Yeah.
she's upside down, then she has the low opening.
She's making her high opening or low opening.
Take that DSL and flip it over. Now you got a low opening.
Have you ever seen the porn parody of the first Spider-Man movie where They do the Spider-Man upside down kiss.
No,
And
I
he
heard
goes
about
back
it.
up.
My friend told me.
And then he goes down and he goes down far enough for his dick to be there. And she starts sucking his dick.
They're playing Coldplay, Macy Gray. She's trying to.
It was played as a laugh too. It was like funny.
She tried to say goodbye and she choked on his cock. Trying to walk away and I stumble. We were talking about the Golden Globes best comedians.
Best. It was a best comedy on TV or something.
Best stand-up comedian on television, whatever the fuck that means. Ricky
Does
Gervais, Trevor
Netflix
Noah,
count?
Chris Rock, Amy Schumer, Sarah Silverman, Wanda Sykes. The reason this is annoying is if you are involved in stand-up comedy at all, nobody gives a fuck. Like, any recognition for stand-up should be given to, like, up-and-coming.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's interesting. I don't care what Ricky Gervais is doing anymore. His career is come and gone. Like, the funnest thing about stand-up is finding out about new dudes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's I think stand-up kind of has the same thing that like maybe rock music and stuff have, where there's the 60-year-old guy who's always going to have his audience, and so he's going to go on tour forever.
Yeah.
But then there's the new crop coming in, and it's always it evolves.
I mean, if they want to make compelling television, to put something interesting that people want to know, who's the next big thing? Wanda Sykes is not the next big thing.
Amy Schumer is definitely not the next big thing.
Yeah, and then the three women that they included are
Yeah.
all either Jewish or black, so you can't say anything about,
Chris Rock. I mean, I would say that Chris Rock probably his best stuff is from the 90s. You know, it's
He's got that new Kevin Hart thing on Netflix. I want to check it out.
Yeah,
it's
you
like a
watch
making of thing, behind the scenes. Do you see all the AI movies I was making? Have you ever fucked
What
with
is that?
any of
What app are you using?
I can't remember what it was called. R something. It was one of those with it uses that deep think stuff. There's like 3 different engines you can use.
Okay.
I can't remember the names of all of them. I stayed up until like 2 a.m. in bed just fucking with it, trying to put my text of my jokes
Yeah.
from stand-up in and see what it came up
Yeah.
with.
See what comes up with you.
So I did one of like the meeting Heath Ledger in hell.
Yeah.
But it was you can't put in certain stuff because there's Adobe has one and you can't put retarded Jedi in there.
Yeah.
This is branding and the R word. So I had to put mentally disabled wizard, and it made this cool video of this
Wizard in a wheelchair, right?
And then with the Joker is just I put meet the Joker in hell, and it turned it into meat, like grocery store meat. So it's the Joker walking down the aisle of the grocery store, and all the potato chips are exploding.
Did you misspell it?
No, you misspell stuff. I don't think it's probably. It was 2 a.m.
You misspelled Anthony Knight in
Ain't
one of the
another-
YouTube shorts I saw the other day.
That'll be all right. He needs his own YouTube channel,
I
and then
know.
I could just tag him. Otherwise,
I
I'm
know.
going to keep misspelling. I'm blackmailing him.
Maybe he can join the god awful network.
Yeah,
I was like, hey, we're gonna create a YouTube channel for you.
the Queef Digital Network. There's the Gas Digital Network. We're going to start the Queef Digital Network. But yeah, I thought the app that I was using to make those movies came with a bunch of tokens for a 4-second sample of a movie that you could generate, and it takes like 2 minutes. So I'm just sitting there in bed watching this progress bar thing going, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the good one. And then I was just thinking about the jokes and how they go, and if I could make them 4 seconds long to fit within the 4-second video.
And you're doing this all on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the app?
I'll send it to you. I can't remember. It starts with an R. It's in my history, but
Okay.
I can't look it up right now. Did I ever tell you about Wes, my friend that started it with me at the city, the racist guy? We were in the bucket truck, and he wouldn't go up in the bucket truck, and I thought it was because he had PTSD from the war, but it was because our supervisor was African American.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm not working for no N-word." I was like, "He's the ground guy. He's the crew lead today. We've been doing what he has to say all day. What's the difference between you getting in the bucket or not? Like, he told you to put cones out. You put cones out. He's going to tell you to
This
get
is
in
the only time. He was probably just scared.
That was where he put his foot. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so scared he turned racist. It's like, I got to find another excuse so I don't look like a pussy. So he looks like a badass if he says I'm not working for
That's such
N-word.
a dude thing. That's why dudes rock.
I'd rather ruin my entire career than have anybody know I'm a gay bitch.
Who's scared of going up on the bucket?
No, it's because of the black guy. But anyway, he ran his own leg over, and it was the only it was one of the
Okay, yeah, I remember you telling me about a guy ran his own leg over. Yeah.
well the brake release on those bucket trucks is right above the foot brake. The emergency brake, you push it down, it's to the left of the brake. It's the gas and the brakes and the crank down. You know, it didn't have the thing that you pull in the middle. It has a foot one. But the release is right above it. So if you're new and you not used to having steel toe boots on, you could potentially hit the brake and then get out of the car and flip the release on the way up. It faces the other way. So like you're supposed to pull it with your hand underneath.
Yeah.
But you can hit it with your foot. I did it once at 7-Eleven. I ran into a pole and had to go to the vehicle, whatever. But he came into work. At the end of the day, what's up, guys? And the guy on the computer in the window was like, hey, there goes your truck. And he ran outside.
Oh, was it like the parking brake was off and it started rolling?
It was rolling down Jesse, like in between P. Terry's and everything behind there.
Okay.
Like towards Thomas Market and Chewy's and everything.
Okay.
Like backwards down the hill into Barton.
Uh-huh.
And so he ran out there to try to stop it. He tried to open the door. He fell under it. And we all ran out after him. I heard a scream. And I came around this truck that he was behind, and he was under it. And it stopped on his leg.
Okay.
So he fell down, and it basically used his thigh as a chock for the wheels. Like it didn't go. So he stopped the truck. That's what he wanted to do. Because it would have
stopped it with himself. He Jeremy Rennered it.
Yeah, I mean, he Thanos'd his own leg.
Yeah.
So he would have, it would have kept going and hit like every parked car along the side of the curb.
Oh yeah, it would have been a whole
hit a restaurant. So.
Catastrophe.
But then he bruised his muscle. So then he didn't look after it.
Yeah.
So he had to carry a drain bag. The inside of his thigh looked like a whole extra thigh hanging off. And he had to drain the fluids into like this shoulder bag.
Yeah.
So we kept asking him about his pus purse.
Yeah.
Do you have your pus purse on your shoulder so you can drain your bruised leg fluids for when you used it as an airplane chock to stop the truck from going backwards? Everybody from then on, like the whole city, they're like, any safety meeting, think about vehicle collision safety, everybody's like, well, Wes ran himself over.
Yeah.
And everybody in every room was like, how? You can't run yourself over. He's like, well, I didn't think so either, but you can't if you're running a truck's going backwards and you try to get into it.
Yeah, I have a story like that that's so funny that I can't describe it. Kind of like a tow truck driver, a little Mexican guy, and his parking brake like went off, and we were in my car, and it started, and he was talking to me, and he was just like one of those character guys where he was trying to like
fuck my ass.
he's like trying to be all buddy. And I was like, and I started pointing, and he goes, oh shit, and he jumps out and runs. And I mean, this is in the median on I-35 as it's like rolling out towards the frontage road. And he runs down, and he jumps up and gets in it, and he goes, and turns it off real fast. He did like a 100-meter run, like a sprint to it before it got out of the median. And it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. If I wish I had a camera filming him the whole scene of, because he saw my girlfriend. This is at the time, and he was like, "So who's that girl?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my girlfriend." He goes, "Oh," like was like giving me high fives and shit. He was such a character, and then that happened, and he took off, started running. It's like a little Speedy Gonzalez. Oh man!
Was your girlfriend yelling while the truck was going?
No, she wasn't in the car because it was like a separate car.
Okay.
I was riding. I can't even remember what the situation was. Damn it! I'm gonna have to think about it.
I wonder how it would have gone if there was a woman yelling in the background.
Stop!
Nice, Carl. Thanks.
Nice ride.
I forgot to talk to Kojak about. I wanted to make a "Don't Tread on Me" flag.
Yeah.
Of the snake, but of like Benoit balls, like gay ass balls, whatever that's called, like curled in the same shape.
Oh, anal beads?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Benoit balls.
like the snake that says "Don't" or "Come and take it."
Yeah,
because you're supposed to yank them out anyway. So it's actually, dude, please come and take them. What's it called? Was that "Don't Tread on Me" or the snake is "Don't Tread on Me"?
Say so and come and take it is the canon. That's why I said whenever I was with my nephew yesterday, I pointed at one of those. I said, "What if instead of canon it was a dick and it just said come and suck it?" And he was like, "That's stupid. That's stupid. That's so dumb.
Stupid.
That's stupid."
I got the Cyberpunk download upgrade, whatever. They did another thing. They keep making it because it's the best ongoing game of
Yeah?
all time because they fucked up and they keep doing it over and over
They
again.
just keep making it.
They added a metro, and one of the metro stops is Congress and MLK. I was like, whoa, that's cool.
I don't know. I think that's pretty.
Yeah. Universal.
If you flip a coin, you're probably going to have that's probably on average. There's always an MLK and there's a Congress in a capital city.
There's no Congress Avenue in D.C.?
That's because Congress is D.C.
Yeah. It's all we have the
It's
states
all Congress.
and the numbers. We have Pennsylvania Avenue, M Street, and
Yeah.
14th. There's not any room for anything else. My daughter put on Basement Jacks in the car the other day. Where's Your Head At?
Uh-huh.
Remember, that's an old classic. It's weird hearing kids, get back into this.
Yeah.
Of course, like we're saying, 90s stuff.
Yeah.
I told her that song was about a Jewish girl that hooked up with a guy for the first time with a foreskin.
Uh-huh.
Because she was only hooked up with Jewish guys.
Yeah.
She was like, where's your head at?
So kids now, they have so much more music to discover than we did.
Yeah. They don't have to
Even-
hear about it
Yeah.
or talk about it. There's
But
an
also
algorithm.
there's so much of it that like Kate Bush suddenly gets popular, or and how all the kids all of a sudden found cigarettes after sex.
Yeah.
It's so weird how they find things like from the past, but they have so much more past than we did growing up. We had if you're going like pop music, right?
Yeah.
We had the 50s through the
Is
90s.
that the guy from ER?
Yeah, it's Eric LaSalle.
Nice.
They have like 30 more years of that shit.
The recommendations. Remember Blockbuster used to have that clip on the shelf?
Yeah.
It said, if you like this, and it pointed up, you'll love these, and it
Yep.
pointed down. I made a belt buckle out of that. So it said, if you like my face, you'll love my nuts. But they have that in the algorithm now. If you like this music,
Yeah.
so here's what comes up next for you.
Yeah.
These kids just get it spoon-fed on a
Yeah.
silver platter. How'd you hear? And you don't. Yeah.
They
How'd
had
you
to
hear?
get magazines and shit.
When we were little, if you heard about something, I'd go, "How'd you hear about that?"
Yeah.
I want to know what your source is. Give me the bibliography.
Yeah.
The kids now are just like phone,
Yeah.
don't
It's
know.
all there. It's just in there.
internet. It gets pushed. They're being force fed.
Why does the clone Wolverine have metal claws? Did they install metal claws in it?
I don't know. We had to watch it not on mute.
Yeah.
This is a cinema classic.
Yeah. Man, it looks good. The HDR looks good too. There was a shot of a sunset earlier and it was like bright red.
He does not give a fuck. He's younger too. How did they make this movie? Everyone looks like they have paper thin skin too.
Yeah.
Like they turned up the even that dude.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just because 4K and they're all 50 years old, so they look.
Yeah, it's just their
like
skin.
they have tissue
Yeah.
paper skin.
Yeah.
It's got a bunch of dead kids in it. It's my favorite. And then they got tank top Wolverine. You want to take another break before this last segment? I've got a couple
Yeah.
more things here.
Yeah, sure. We can take another break and we'll be right back. Segment 3, the Fightin' 3. That's what Travis would always say in the drunk cast.
Yeah.
He took the fightin' whatever from Colbert.
We've gotten better at chopping it into 3 segments. Usually at the beginning we talk about our day or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Life, recent events. Then it's nerd news, and then the end is always riffs and bits. We'll do some riffs and bits.
Riffs and bits. I started watching this. Have you been watching the second season of Invincible? Did you watch all those?
No. Yes.
Yeah?
It stops with the dad. Are you caught up?
No.
I'm sorry.
I assume the dad comes back, right?
Fucked it up. Yeah.
I haven't read the comic, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, comics are just on archive.org. Full PDFs of entire comic runs are on archive.org
Okay.
because all of Invincible is on there. So I just started downloading all the episodes, all the issues.
I've heard that the new Transformers under Kirkman is good. He took over.
Comic?
Yeah. I mean, they've always.
I think it's usually sells pretty high, but the comic industry is in such trouble right now that it's ridiculous.
Transformers drawings.
Yeah.
Because all of the illustrators are like architects or like weapons designer people.
Oh, they are?
Like they're not Rob Liefeld with a bunch of ovals.
Yeah, and a bunch of pouches.
You
And
don't need to know how to draw fingers and
Yeah.
feet. You just need to how to do 3D different cubes and different
Now you're going to have me look up the Transformers comic.
The best one I thought was the IDW run in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was the best art, and it was glossy.
Oh, Image is doing Transformers now, huh?
But it's under a Kirkman sub thing.
Yeah.
So we didn't circumcise my son because it was $2,000.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Which is there's a funny Jew joke in there somewhere. Yeah. Like we were being too cheap to do the Jewish thing. Like that's the only thing they really
there's a joke in there.
Will spend money on. But I'm sure they're like, dude, when did it get so high? But yeah, eventually we're gonna have to teach them about schmegma and cleaning yourself.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to tell them because I'm cut. Because it wasn't $2,000 when I was born, and my Jewish parents could afford. But that was probably
part of it. Yeah,
covered by insurance. It wasn't covered by insurance when he was born.
Your evangelical Christian parents. It's crazy how evangelical Christians totally took the whole circumcision Jew thing.
That's European or whatever. They don't care over there.
Yeah,
they got a bunch of floppy donkey dicks.
No, this is like American Protestantism or whatever. Yeah. You know, because I don't think Protestants didn't spread outside of England because that all comes from England.
Yeah,
it's all English stuff.
But yeah, my wife kind of backed me into a corner on it. I was like, well, I want him to get circumcised because I'm circumcised. And what's he going to feel like if he's not the same as me? And she was like, how often are you planning on sitting around with your son with your dicks out talking about what it looks like? I was like, you know what? You're right. I don't see that happening. So we don't have to worry about that. Thank you. We could skip that whole thing.
Honey, you're not supposed to be the voice of reason.
Also, if I don't know how to clean a foreskin, and neither do you, you can handle all that shit. Since it was out of your decision.
Oh, baby.
Gotta get a swizzle stick. That's what Q-tips are for, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
The other thing about, circumcision, etc., was, and we've been talking a lot about, nature versus nurture and how the riffs and bits are always mixed in with deep philosophy for some reason at the end of our show. Yeah. That Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I wonder, do you think if you knew how formative your formative years were at the time, would you have done anything differently, knowing like Days of Future Past, what your triggers and traumas were going to be when you're older? Like if Tony Soprano knew that ducks were going to make him pass out because his dad grabbed his mom's ass, would he have like looked away or paid attention different or not like let it affect him? Because the way that you handle trauma is basically, if you can adapt,
well,
it's your attitude and your adaptation. So if you have the right attitude, there's Christian kids that were born and raised Christian. They're still Christian. They're happy with it. They had a subservient attitude, or they were weak-minded or whatever, and they stayed in it, and they're probably happy. Still believe in whatever they believed in. They never developed critical thinking.
Yeah, or that you just ignore it.
Yeah.
You do the thing a friend of ours does where whenever I'm watching something and I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense and it's stupid, I just ignore that and I enjoy it. I just lobotomize myself.
Yeah, I wish. Well, that's Cumtown also with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I wish I was dumb enough to enjoy this shit. I am, but I've got an excuse. I've got kids. And I've always wanted these things to exist. I always wanted Lucas's dream to come true of having a weekly serial swashbuckling Star Wars thing. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it sucks. They can't all be bangers. But at least there's a half hour of Star Wars every week. That's really my end game here. I don't care if it's quality or not. I just want it to keep happening.
Well, you and about 200 other people, according to the ratings that Ahsoka got. Nobody's watching this stuff. Nobody's watching the Disney Plus Marvel stuff. Nobody's watching it. It's not making any money. It's not bringing anything in.
One of the biggest marriage tips they always say is you have to compromise. We were talking about, whirlwind romances and head over heels in love.
Yeah.
That's another one. If hull integrity becomes compromised on a submarine, everyone dies. So there's some instances where compromise is not good. You want to have good tight pressure.
Yeah.
A lot of times in my...
Yeah, it's funny how there's a whole... definition of compromise that's bad. We've been compromised.
Yeah.
I mean, we should compromise.
Yes.
And there's
believe all
we've
spies.
Been compromised. Yeah.
But that's something I noticed about you. You have a lower tolerance for this females because you're not willing to. Every time I get in a fight and I compromise, I feel like a fucking sellout. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like I feel like I lost a little piece of my who I am and become less rock and roll.
That's why you die sooner.
that's why I have more gray hairs than you. I was telling my wife because I cut my hair and it's more bushy than it used to be.
Yeah.
And
It's like the
more
texture changed.
Jufro-y, and she was like, "That's because there's more gray ones in there." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Shut the hell up! You go to hell when you die." That's not why. It's because I'm more Jewish. What's your biggest fat fuck guilty food indulgence?
Oh, jeez.
Like if you went to Randall's without any kind of health consciousness and we're going to put something together. What's something when you're eating, you're like, I'm sure glad no one's watching me.
No, for
I feel
me,
like
it's
a dumb
just
pig.
like it's going to like HEB and getting one of those giant slices of cake,
Yeah.
and then eating that whole slice of cake and drinking a pint of whole milk.
You're a birthday baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Be a special boy.
Yeah. I don't do cake and ice cream that much, but yeah, just a big piece of cake.
Chocolate, vanilla, what's your...
Yeah, chocolate, yellow with chocolate frosting.
Do you get the lady to write something on it so it feels real? Like it's a really...
That's the pre-cut
Look,
slices.
it's my anniversary, okay?
Actually, my absolute favorite one is I don't hardly ever see it anymore. It's the HEB Oreo cake slice
Yeah.
with the Oreo frosting and a half of an Oreo on top. You know,
Hell yeah.
that's my
Little
number
Super
one,
Mario
yeah.
mounds.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
hop over them.
yeah.
Mine is always some mixture of meat and cheese and bread because I know those
Yeah.
are the things I'm not supposed to have. Greasy red meat, thick, nasty slop
Yeah.
cheese, and bread. I mean, I guess that's got sugar in it somewhere because of how
If it's white bread, yeah.
bread metabolizes in your...
But I will also pizza. I mean, that's what pizza is, right?
Yeah, that's why Italians
So I'll
are
go
all fat
insane
fucks.
on fucking pizza too. I'll eat like 4 or 5 slices of some like supreme pizza.
I'll get like a baguette and a bunch of brats and a
Yeah.
brick of like Gouda
Yeah.
and just put it all together in the oven somehow. Like core out the baguette, ass fuck the brat in there with the cheese, and then just cut it into slices. I don't
Yeah.
know what that's called, but it's all the things I'm not supposed to have
Yeah.
in one. Greasy cheese meat bread.
It's called diabetes.
It's called, I hope no one's watching me right now.
Yeah.
Be a fat shame fuck.
I'm being such a naughty little boy.
Which one's naughtier, mine or your birthday boy shit? I'm fancy.
I should eat cake and ice cream with a Burger King crown on. Like,
The Marie Antoinette. I can eat cake. They told me I could eat cake. I want to do a skit about a guy that's like doing a close-up video of himself bragging about he can self-suck his own dick.
yeah.
And he's making it sound like it's because his dick is so long, but then you zoom out and he has the longest neck you've ever seen in your life. You're like, you don't have a big
That's-
dick. You're just a giraffe man.
Look at my skills.
I was on the way home yesterday from work, and I had shit really bad. And I had to take a couple shortcuts because of traffic. So I ended up on Bannister and Radom. I went by the hospital where both my children were born. I went by the emergency room. I was driving down, and I was like, I'm having an emergency. What if I run in there and tell them I'm having an emergency? Can I use the emergency room for an emergency poop? And go, it says emergency room, and I'm having an emergency. Ever since I was little, they told me, not unless it's an emergency.
Yeah.
Can you leave class? This is technically a real emergency.
No, that's called. I think the poop emergency room is called a hotel.
Yeah.
You just go into the lobby of a
Lobby.
hotel, and you go
I've
poop there.
destroyed some hotel lobbies. Just ungodly.
Yeah, that's what we did. That's where we stopped to poop whenever we did that one night where we tried to drive all the way back to Austin, but then we got arrested at the border. I think it was in El Paso or someplace like that. Like we just went and parked in front of the hotel for 30 minutes, and everybody went and took a shit in the lobby.
The guy at the desk is like, oh no, here they all come.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to get.
we're coming for you.
They're calling all the Mexican women upstairs on the 8th floor.
Yeah.
You guys got to come back to the lobby. Oh no, what happened? We're looking. Everybody at my house is looking forward to that Last of Us 2 update. They're re-releasing Last of Us 2.
But they canceled the online.
Yeah,
That's gone.
after so much work.
I know.
But they're doing a roguelite, and everybody else copied. I don't know whose idea it was. I think maybe because Hades was so popular. Did you do Hades?
No, I mean roguelikes. I'm trying to think what the first one that was really big was.
But they just put one for God of War, and
Yeah.
they put one in Final Fantasy, kind of.
Yeah, Hades was really big. Yeah,
But now Last of Us is going to have one with like different perks.
I mean
and
that's
builds.
what Returnal was.
Yeah,
There's been like a bunch of those.
but I played it last time. I played Last of Us was on Grounded because I wanted it to last long because I'm Jewish and I want more bang for my buck.
Yeah.
I buy a game for $60 and I'm like, I better get 60 hours of entertainment out of this because like I'll go to a movie and it's $20 and I'm like, okay, for 2 hours of straight, like if I don't look at my phone, this is probably gonna be a good movie.
Yeah.
It'll be worth the or what is a movie ticket now? 12.
Yeah, the Draft House tickets I've gotten lately are like $12.50.
That was you went to Miyazaki.
When I went to Boy and the Heron.
The Boy and the Heroine. I believe that
Yeah.
movie was called Basketball Diaries. The Boy
Kids.
and the Heroine Part 2.
No, that was like the only movie in theaters that I have any interest in until The Iron Claw, which is next weekend.
I heard it sucks. It's getting bad reviews.
Iron Claw?
Yeah.
Really?
A mishmash of it doesn't know what direction it wants to go.
Huh.
It's lost halfway through.
Well, it's an A24 movie.
Yeah. All that shit that the whole strike is about people not wanting AI to like take their likeness.
Yeah.
But everybody's been applauding Death Stranding guy for doing it. And LA Noire and they've been scanning people's faces for video games and doing
Yeah.
mocap for years and everybody's like, this is great.
I guess it's their rights to their AI. Like if you want to do it, you
Yeah.
can do it, but you have complete control over how it's used.
Yeah.
So that's what they're mad about. That's what they don't want. They don't want to basically have the movie companies be able to just make a movie with them, and then they have the rights to their likeness, and they can just use that character in any other sequel without having the actor or anything.
What's Schmiegel's name? What that guy?
Andy Serkis.
I bet you could hack an entire Andy Serkis for yourself from the internet because it's got all his movements
Oh, yeah.
and his everything.
All his
He's done so
body
much
data.
mocap.
Yeah.
If you want,
That's so much
if
of
you
it.
want, I can get you an Andy Serkis. I got a guy.
Yeah.
I'll get you a toe.
That really sucks because I wanted them to do a Last of Us 2 like multiplayer or just a Last of Us 2 engine thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, from everything I haven't played it, but from everything I've seen, the gameplay and all that looks really cool.
There
The
was
AI and all that shit.
Some paintings. I mean, the AI has always been good in there. Yeah, the concept drawings they've had of the backgrounds they're using, the crashed cruise ship and stuff look
Yeah.
really good. And the world is an interesting
Yeah.
world that they've built, but they said they canceled the online factions because they wanted to be able to focus on single player experiences.
Yeah, but didn't Naughty Dog just lay off a bunch of people?
Yeah.
I think all the game companies are laying off a bunch of people.
You're not a naughty enough dog for Naughty Dog. You're too much of a good boy. Too much of a birthday baby.
Yeah.
You can't work at the Naughty Dog.
Now you are putting an image in my head of myself as like a fat 6-year-old stuffing my face with cake and ice cream.
Yeah, after we talked about formative trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see, because you showed me your 18th birthday video.
Oh,
with
that might
Jason and
yeah.
everybody.
That was my graduation. Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, I got a present. Everybody luck. Oh, mine is worse. I rented Drop Dead Fred for me and my friends to watch on my 18th birthday.
Yeah.
Because I just love that movie. And we went downstairs and turned the TV on to put it in the VCR, and it was on TV. And all my friends were like, "You're fucking retarded, dude. Why did you rent this movie? It's on TV right now." It didn't just come out on tape. Like, it had been a blockbuster for a long time. But I was just like, this is cool. This is a cool movie. I like it.
Do you remember whenever to buy a movie on tape was like $150?
Certain movies, yeah, when they first came out.
Yeah, and because in the mid 80s, I guess they made it a really high charge because of all the royalties they thought they weren't going to get off of it because of broadcast.
Yeah.
If somebody just bought the tape. But the first movie to be like $29.99 was on VHS?
Little Mermaid?
No, it was Top Gun.
Oh, nice.
And then all the girls
Paper
bought
Slave.
it. All my aunt, who was 12 years older than me,
Yeah.
her and her friends all had a copy of it, and they would watch it anytime they'd have like a hangout or a sleepover.
I think inside the box.
Yeah.
Remember Princess Bride, where he went to slap her and he was like, "Where I come from, there are penalties when a woman lies."
Yes.
Where is that? I want to go
I want
there.
to go to that country.
Can you be more specific about where you came from? I guess it was pirate life because he was from the Dread Pirate.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we got to take to the high seas if we want to
slap women for lying.
Yeah.
And there was the word no penalty. They didn't mention any penalties for men lying.
Yeah.
Pirates lie all the time. They're allowed to. For some reason, women aren't allowed to lie on pirate ships.
More like guidelines, really.
It's probably because their periods. They're lying about their periods, and then there's a mess on this. Who's going to swab the decks? If the woman lies about her, it's not my blood. You're dirty.
They lie about the orgasm because you didn't hit the right combination of up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start.
Next time my hen flies on its own. There are penalties when a woman lies. Where? It's fantasy vacations. Where would you go if you could go anywhere? Bali? No, I want to go to that pirate ship where Wesley was from.
You can slap a woman for lying.
That's Fantasy Island. Dude, we could do a comedy cruise.
Yeah.
Prince Wesley's Dread Pirates Roberts comedy cruise where women aren't allowed to lie or they get smacked.
They get thrown off the cliffs of insanity.
Oh, we got to call Stringer.
Yeah.
Set something up. We had this girl in college that was a butterface. She was bangingest body I've ever seen. Like, it's crazy. We all worked in the same shopping center, and we were all friends with her. We'd bum smokes off each other and chill out in front of the coffee shop. I can't even remember her name, but we were always staring at her tits.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, my eyes are up here. And we were like, we're not looking at that.
We weren't trying to look at your eyes.
That's the bad area. Nobody wants to look at your eyes because they're busted. Just leave us alone. We're trying to look at the nice part of your body. I thought of another slutty restaurant name. Red Slob by Lobster restaurant, seafood, for the seafood lover in you.
Red Slobster?
Red Lobster, but red slob on my knobster.
Yeah.
It's like Jamaican jerk me off chicken.
Okay. Yeah.
You were talking about how you don't like games of dodge roll.
I just think it's it's funny to make fun of.
Well, there's people that get deep into like the iframes of like when dodge rolling is possible, especially with Elden Ring.
Right.
Like, there's huge sweeping attacks, and if you dodge roll exactly the right time in the right range, then you'll get out of the iframes.
Yeah, it's basically like playing Punch-Out.
But I was thinking about it last night because I was at that party and I was on shrooms and it was getting awkward, and I was like, I need to dodge roll out of awkward social situations. Yeah. Like if somebody corners me, I need to be able to go whoop. What are the iframes of this conversation about inclusivity that I'm too drunk to not fuck with you about?
Maybe make the party more fun if you were able to just dodge roll in the middle of a party and then recover perfectly.
Combat roll, social anxiety combat roll.
Yeah.
Where'd he go? I was talking to him about the patriarchy.
Why isn't there an autistic? You know, there's always an autistic kid that runs like Naruto or whatever. Why isn't there one that just dodge rolls everywhere? Dodge rolls into class.
I was helping him understand what archetypical versus systematic oppression is. Yeah. And all of a sudden his feet were in the air and he was gone. He did a dodge roll. That place was such a matriarchal house. Their guest bathroom, you couldn't stand up and pee. It was under the stairs, so there's like a diagonal wall in your face, so you have to sit down and piss. This is what happens when you do shrooms at a woman house. You just think about all the ways that men are being besmirched.
Dude, that's why
Big AIDS is over there freaking out, because there's just so many things about that house. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's like they're humiliating you by making you sit down to pee.
Yeah. Feel our pain.
Yeah.
It's so horrible having to sit down and do nothing.
I was telling somebody that Critical Drinker's last stream, he does streams every Thursday, and what's his name? Nerdrotic.
Yeah. Who
is an alt-right Nazi according to like all of the people who work at the entertainment companies, but man, he gets some takes right. Oh, and he was talking about one comic book artist that he said he sits down when he pees.
Oh.
It's just like he's the kind of guy that sits down when he pees. I'm gonna start using that one.
I don't sit down when I pee when I'm partying because I want to get back to partying.
Yeah.
But if I'm at home, I sit down when I pee because I want a break from parenting and I want to look at my phone.
Well, there's that. That's a false shit.
Yeah. Why are you in the bathroom so long? For some reason, yeah.
It's a survival technique.
Again, on shrooms last night, I was thinking about if we had an American Hitler that wanted to take over Canada.
Yeah.
But especially with global warming, like we're not. Oh, I was thinking about this show, and like we haven't heard anyone or like said anything bad about anybody.
Uh-huh.
Like we make jokes, but we've never said this group is bad or
Yeah.
there's something wrong with anyone. That's where you can, call somebody an alt-right Nazi or say
Yeah.
you're doing hate. Like jokes are not hate. But if I did say that if I hated anybody, it would probably be Canadians.
Uh-huh.
Partly because I'm jealous of them because all their comedians are funny
Yeah.
for some reason. And I want their land because the world is getting hotter and there's a big chunk of real estate up there that doesn't have an army.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything with it. So if we had an American warlord, the way things are going, if certain people get reelected, somebody's going to start looking up that direction and going, hey,
Yeah, it's gonna get interesting.
we're not
in
going
a-
south.
in a few
They're
decades.
beheading people. They got helicopters down there. But there's a
Nobody's
bunch of-
living. Yeah.
the whole culture of that country just to the north of us is about apologizing
Yeah.
and
Sorry.
being polite. They still have the queen on their money.
Yeah.
They still speak French. It's like they are begging to be taken over. Like, please come and take it. Come and take it, eh? Sorry. Then we could have that's like Lex Luthor from
Yeah.
Superman. Prime real estate.
It would be an easy process.
Who's the next Lex Luthor? They just cast him.
Oh, it's Nicholas Holt,
Okay,
I think, right?
that sounds good. I like that. Well, let's see
Yeah,
what
I
his
don't
cranium
know.
looks like. That's part of the casting process.
I think in like the 50s and the 60s, all the movies were westerns,
Yeah.
and then slowly but surely in like the 70s, they just died off.
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen to superhero movies. There's always going to be a Spider-Man or a Batman, maybe a Superman, but I think that all these comic book movies are kind of seeing their end. Everybody's predicting that it's going to be video game movies next.
Is there anything they haven't done that you want them to do? I mean, I want the Imageverse. I want Saga.
Yeah, there's some of that. Weren't they supposed to be doing a new Spawn? Did you ever watch the HBO Spawn
Yeah,
animated show? I never watched
Awesome.
it. It was the one with Todd
you like
McFarlane
the
trying to act all
Evolution
mysterious
Baby
at the
video.
beginning.
It's the same.
Yeah, yeah. I
Same
never
stuff.
watched any of those. I am trying to think about what in the comics I would like that they haven't.
I mean, they've fucked up some stuff that I'd rather them go back and
Yeah.
do right.
I mean, we already had our like X-Men and we had all the Marvel comics.
What was the biggest arc of comics that you read when you were little that you were like fantasizing that they're going to have a movie? Like the drama of it and everything.
I mean, it's probably Infinity War.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the big one from. It was in the 80s, I think. That was one of the more successful ones. I guess there was the Crisis on Infinite Earths and the DC stuff, I guess. But I've tried to do that with the problem was that the Snyderverse was dead at Batman versus Superman. And even Man of Steel was too dark and it didn't have any color to it.
Yeah.
But
I should have added a black girl.
yeah, chicken it, make it lame and gay. Yeah, I guess Wolverine not having his adamantium ripped out. I can't believe they've never done that.
The wedding of still have the wedding issue of Scott Summers and Jean Grey.
Yeah.
That was a super big book. It was bigger. It doesn't fit in the comic book
Oh, really?
box. And my brother-in-law let me borrow Days of Future Past, and I loved it. But it was
Yeah.
partly just because of the art. They did really good
Yeah.
70s art and butterfly collars, and Dazzler was like a disco queen. and
Right.
They didn't do that as well as they could have.
Oh, the death of Superman they tried to do in Batman versus Superman, which was stupid.
Well, they didn't have. Oh yeah, they did. They had Doomsday, but it wasn't.
Yeah, they turned Zod into Doomsday.
He didn't have cool bone chunks coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they keep bastardizing everything into the wrong. Like they did Dark Knight Returns, but it was Ben Affleck,
Yeah.
and it was a Superman movie.
But the
instead of a
animated Dark
Batman
Knight Returns was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. So
like,
great they did it twice.
So they did at least some animated things.
There's been more of those.
Yeah.
There was Master Race.
Yeah, there's Under the Red Hood. There's a good Why the Last Man. They tried to make that a TV show, but apparently they changed stuff immediately and people didn't like it, so it was canceled after one season.
Yeah, people didn't like. I loved it. I thought it was great. I told you. The women didn't know how to do plumbing,
Yeah.
so they were like, "Well, I guess we'll all die."
Don't you? I think you still have the first few of those.
It's hyper realistic.
Yeah. You have got Dark Knight, Long Halloween. They kind of did Long Halloween in the Batman.
I mean, I enjoyed
You
reading
know
the
what?
Walking Dead comics. That ruined the show for me. I mean, the show ruined the show, but reading sometimes having read the comic before. I mean, that's just like books. If you read the book and you watch the movie, it sucks because the book was better because theater of the mind to do
Yeah.
it yourself. But I've never seen a comic or a book that came out as a movie that was better than.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a comic or a book.
Yeah.
Fight Club. The movie Fight Club is better than the book.
Did you read the comic later?
I have the first 2 or 3 episodes, or
Yeah.
2 or 3 issues of Fight Club 2, and then there's been a Fight Club 3,
Yeah.
and I think it's book sequel. Right?
It's collected into a larger graphic novel now.
All right. Well, as Logan is ending here, as he's dying because he fought the young version of himself, so dies the first season of the God Awful Gospel Hour.
As the sands of times.
We'll be back in like a month and a half.
Well, you say we're having a hiatus, and then nobody knows because we don't put the episode out where we say we're about to have a hiatus until after the hiatus. So then 2 months later, people go, "Oh, I guess this was what
Was the hiatus? Yeah.
there was no episode."
Yeah, none of this actually really matters because if anybody's listening to this, they're going to be
Retroactive.
listening to it in 3 years, just going slowly but surely chronologically through it. But
If you're hearing this and you're angry that there hasn't been an episode for a little while, this is why that.
Yeah.
Then now.
yeah,
Then.
this is now December 2020.
But we got other episodes to put out there. We'll probably still be able to put one out.
Yeah, we'll put out special
Put out
episodes,
the-
extras,
And we'll see you in 2024.
in 2024.
And then in 5 years, Logan is going to ruin the...
Yeah.
And the next season on the God Awful Gospel Hour, we're going to rape